Hi, and welcome to Shed 37. This is my military narrow gauge model railway in 009 scale. Well, as you can tell, the layout is very heavy with scenic materials, but that's because of the overall idea with the Ministry of Defence systems, because they're always in forests or out of the way areas that were practically close enough to being farmland. What I'll do is I'll show you some of the basic bits, like the baseboard construction and such. Let's do that now. Forward slightly. As you can see, it's a very simple 2x1 framework construction with 3mm ply laid on top. The items that you can see here, especially the little circuit board over there, are part of the AME rather than Pico system smart switch, which has these wonderful little servos which control the points. The servo system, the control board, allows for different methods of control. You can have like a push button system, or you can have toggle switches. The choice is entirely yours. You can have indicators to say which way the points are facing and which direction they're going to be going. There's also, whilst I think on, tiny little magnets that I obtained. These are going to be used to decouple the wagons and locomotives using the Spratt & Winkle brass coupling system, which will hopefully allow for much more reliable coupling and decoupling and so on. Over here is the one of the bunkers, or bunker cum storage area, where locomotives can be held or rolling stock can be held at any one given time. Little pillbox, just as an observational detail. There's also one further down in the entry area. Tiniest little square, barely noticeable, but the detail's there. The trees, unfortunately, aren't the best. This one and the one here are made of wire wool with florist wire. Not particularly brilliant, but better than nothing. This one's a wee bit better because I've made this one from lichen, using the florist wire and the milliput putty to make the tree itself, the main body of the tree, the trunk, and lichen with hairspray and foliage material added onto there. This is, actually, as you can tell, very much a new point, because the last one that I had in when I was trying to sort out my point control system didn't work very well. I ended up damaging it, so I had to replace it, and it was quite a straightforward job to replace that. You'll notice here that the track is sort of in with some levelling material. This was provided by CW Railways. They have a website as well on the internet, and they do sell a lot of goods. We'll move on to the right hand area of the layout, for want of a better phrase. We put a security fence in this area, like when the layout was first put together, before we did anything else with it. And we've kind of had a thought about maybe moving it from here, which will probably happen during the new year, I would think, up to this area here, which is the container, secure storage and reorganisation facility that is built with a couple of Nightwing kits. There's a third one that I'm still deciding on whether to build, both of which are going to be painted. There's going to be various bits of pallets floating about with boxes and such, storage crates to go on it, and also a gantry crane that will probably come out to about here, I would say, or somewhere in this general area. And then that will kind of make up this little area. This Nissan hub that I purchased from Metcalfe Models is going to be what's nicknamed on the TV series called Bluestone 4-2 the cookhouse, and there will be a small smoke generator popped in, and a smoke oil that allows for the smell of bacon and so on and so forth, and fried eggs. Well, maybe not fried eggs, that might stink of sulphur, but certainly bacon smells and various other smells that I can add to go into it, and that'll be coming in, just generating smoke on the layout itself. So on that note, this is not far from being completed on this particular stage. We will, however, be adding more boards in the next couple of weeks, maybe not a couple of weeks, but a couple of months, as finances permit, and it will allow for a continuous run. The back end section here will be a fiddle yard, so only this section and the two side elements will be viewable to the public. The side section at the left of the layout will have a 16.5 track gauge, so effectively standard gauge locomotive running around to perform various shunting duties, but going into a standard to narrow gauge transfer station, which will just be more likely a ratio carriage shed or something along those lines. One of the things that I received in the post the other day was this Kelly & Son paper mill locomotive on behalf of British Railway Modelling, or BRM magazine. The reason that I got this was due to signing up to the £10 subscription for the first 3 months, I believe it is, and the purpose of getting hold of this specifically is the baseboard that I spoke about that's going to be on the left hand side of the layout that has the standard to narrow gauge transition station. I want to establish what the absolute minimum radius is that things can take, because this won't be the locomotive running on the layout, it'll be another one that's a diesel hydraulic locomotive instead, but this has roughly the same wheelbase as this particular locomotive, so rather than paying £40 and being terribly disappointed and not being able to run said locomotive, I figured test it with something else, cheap and cheerful type of thing from the Hornby Railroad series, just to check out and make sure that I can actually get away with the specification that I want to obtain. As a plus note, I took this apart after testing it with the power on I think it was yesterday evening possibly, and it runs extremely well. It's a rather nice mechanism running in there. It's still a traditional CAN motor as it is, but it ran really nicely yesterday, and for the Railroad series that's quite something to take on board. So in conclusion, you've seen the layout at its current setup, you know what's going to be going on relatively soon. I suspect another possibly 5 or 6 videos relatively soon. We'll just have to look and see what takes place, but you'll be looking at the extra baseboard being built, digital command control being installed, which will include the wiring, the control system being built, because I intend to purchase the MERG DCC kits 91 and 92, which if you go onto their website you'll see various bits about that. And I also believe, if memory serves, that there's a model rail article floating about somewhere. I'm not entirely certain. I'll try and find the web address for you and you can have a look at it yourself from there. It is a kit build. It is a kit build, as are all the MERG bits of equipment. They're all kit builds, and it's a very good way to get into electronics as well. So yeah, that concludes this particular video. So thank you very much for watching, and also don't forget to subscribe and comment below. Thank you very much.